What is happening? I'm N64 Josh, and this is a first look at Turok on the Nintendo Switch. That's right, Turok from the Nintendo 64. Now, I record this live on twitch.tv/N64Josh. Saturdays, I'm hanging out. It's a good time. It's a good time. And also on Saturdays, we do Mario Kart tournaments. So if you're into that, you know, the best way to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, N64Josh.com/Discord, or follow me on Twitter. All right, so we're going to take a look at Turok right here. Look at this. There it is. You can see the raptor has started to, you know, he's done a little damage to Turok. There's some blood there, you know. So, man, here we go. Let's see what this one's all about. Now, full disclosure, I've already played this game a little bit because I was too excited. I loved this game back in the day when I was a kid. So turn this down just a little bit, make sure we do have some game audio going for you guys to hear. But so I did play this. Again, this was originally a 64 title, right? It was hard back in the day. I remember it being extremely difficult. What I know most about this game is you spend more time shooting backwards than you do shooting forward, is what it seems like. At least when there's dinosaurs involved. Some of the bigger creatures. So I always loved that opening intro, seeing the arrows being fired at the iguana. I believe this is our first 64 title on the Switch. Right? There he is, firing the arrow. Turok. All right. So I'm going to jump in. I have a game saved already. Hopefully, well, load game. There we go. Here we go. Well, I'll just take you guys from the beginning here. So, as you can see, you start with your knife. It definitely looks like a 64 game. The one thing you're going to notice differently is that there's still fog. There's a little bit of blood, so there you go. But look, we have some options here. Okay, so let's jump into the options. Graphics. You turn bloom on or off. Okay, water refraction is on. Your field of view, you can mess with it if you want. Like, this is like standard 64. This is seems to be a little more. Look at that. Got your brightness and so we're just gonna leave it the way it was, but I do feel like there's a little less fog. that guy's face though, like Turok's face, let's have a little talk about that. So all right, so first step is we got to find some weapons. There's a shotgun and some shotgun shells. We're just rocking the knife right now, I believe. Do we hold it? Oh, we do have bow and arrow. Okay, so there we go. That's good. I don't think this guy dropped anything. We'll go check it out. But it's what's funny about these games is, like, I mean, it was a 64 title, right? So it's like there's not a whole lot to these levels, like a few random plants here and there, but it was like I think this thing drops health if you shoot it, but the death is great. We're gonna add a little more volume to this because it seems like it got a lot quieter. There we go. Okay, a little more gameplay. So Focus on Me Play is asking in chat, what kind of game? This is just a first-person shooter that, like I said, was out on the 64. You don't have to reload, so it's kind of like Doom in that sense. The modern Doom anyway. The one that just came out. I don't remember the old ones if you had to reload or not, but. So no ADS, right? Like I said, when you're shooting dinosaurs, always run back. There's a grenade just bounced in front of my face, right? Cryptic saying that people say the 64 doesn't age well. I think what's hard about the there's a few things that are difficult about the 64. When you plug a 64 into a modern TV, you have a couple of issues. One of the issues is that, you know, you're trying to plug old tech into new tech, right? And so if you don't mess with your aspect ratio when you play a 64 on a modern TV, you're going to have all of the polygons and everything are going to look all elongated and stretched out. And one of the things the 64 did is it made everything look muddy to try to compensate for some of the stuff looking bad. I think his buddy just hit him with a grenade. And so there's even things you can do with like a Game Shark to improve the graphics on the 64. Oh, up to that thing. I don't even know what these purple ones do. Maybe that looks like it would be it. There we go. Oh, it's just 35. Okay. I'm not even sure what these little triangles do. Right? I don't know what the purpose of collecting them is or anything, but so but yeah, so there was ways to improve the graphics of the 64. You have to remember too, a lot of times like the controls were a little bit weird, right? Like playing games like this, I don't know if you guys remember, but like the main way you would play this game is you would actually run with the C buttons on the 64 controller. Well, the C buttons on the 64 controller were on your right hand, so it was the opposite of what we do now, right? Because we typically move with our left hand in first-person shooters. You know, I guess if you're a southpaw, you may switch those controls, but if typically you're going to run with your left and look with your right, well, that wasn't really possible, I don't believe, in this game. I need to go back and check. I did go back and check in games like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and you can just switch your grip, and that allows you to play the games like a modern shooter. So this pistol's got some range, as you can see. So, but I mean, look how smooth this game is. Honestly, like, it's to me, it's impressive how smooth it is. And you know, obviously, I mean, you're talking about like 64 textures and things like that. So I mean, it could definitely use some improvement. But I mean, overall, and see, I don't know what these things are. I can't remember. They're like little challenges that give you better weapons and stuff. So that's cool. I did this one. That's right. But like, yeah, it's a nostalgia trip. I honestly didn't play the first one all that much. I found the game to be incredibly difficult back in the day, and I never owned it. What I did own was the second one, which is making its way to the Switch still, and that one's going to be a lot of fun. I doubt it will happen, but if they included online multiplayer in that, man, it would be because it's a lot of fun. The multiplayer is fast and frantic, and it's just overall a good time. So I'm very pleased that it's $20 on the eShop, you know, so it's it may be a little bit I feel like $14.99 would be a great like a good sweet spot for these titles, but you know, so it is $20. And I mean, look, I am having a good time with it. It's actually going to be a game that I probably play all the way through, because I haven't I've never completed this one. I completed the second one, but if I remember correctly, I had to use like the Game Shark to do that, because it was so difficult. Oh, I did this jump a couple times before too. It's a tricky one. Climb the wall. So, but welcome on in, everybody. If you're just showing up, so glad to see you. We are currently checking out Turok on the Nintendo Switch here. Oh, that jump! I did it like 3 or 4 times last time too. What'd you get, drummer? What'd you order? So these guys do reappear. You gotta watch out for that. He's got that the grunt when he jumps, you know. So, I mean, and it was you know, interesting at the time. Like, we didn't really have a lot of first-person shooters on consoles like this and GoldenEye, and so this game, unlike GoldenEye, like incorporated a lot of like platforming and things like that, which you know, you didn't typically see. Oh, drummer, that's awesome, dude. So here's like a little mini boss. These guys show up later on in the game too, so I don't think it's like a full-on boss. But I haven't played through enough of the game to know if there's even boss fights. I'm assuming there is, though. It seems like the type of game that there would be. But the thing with Turok, there's like, I believe there is, I think there's 4 titles on the 64. So I'm curious on how many of these we're going to see. Because you had... I think they just drop 2 health every time. So let's check this out. These things seem to like appear and disappear, so... Oh man. I'm just going for it because there's health back here. But you had, you have... Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. I can't remember the name of the third one, but there was just Turok 3. But then there was also one that was just strictly multiplayer, and I remember that was kind of a big deal back in at that time because, like, you know, we're talking no online, right? Like, it was like I think you could play against bots, so you had that going for you, but it was just strictly a multiplayer game. So, okay, it looks like 100 of these things give you an extra life, so kind of like Mario coins, I guess. Then we got ultra health, so that's cool. So, oh, hi, yeah, welcome. Did for your birthday, drummer? That's awesome, man. That's great, dude. Happy birthday. Okay, we gotta go this way. Climb this wall over here. But, like, overall, like, I love the arrows, too. They're pretty fun. Oh, we got some exploding arrows. So much blood. Do we want to save? Sure, we can save. Oh my gosh. So Cryptic saved 4 of them. I only remember the first one on the 360 back in the day, so there's actually one on the original Xbox and the GameCube as well. That was also pretty fun. I enjoyed the one on GameCube quite a bit. I don't remember what it's called. I do have it in my collection, though. And a lot of times I played these games for the multiplayer, so part of the reason I didn't own this one is there was no multiplayer, and I didn't... the majority of my 64 gaming, minus a handful of games like Star Wars and things like that, the majority of it was pretty much multiplayer. Like, that was what I was interested in doing. Right? I was probably 16, 17 around the time. Was actually dating the girl I was dating is now my wife, and so we played a lot of like, she loves Turok. Oh no, that was a mistake. I thought these things disappeared, so I thought it was a new one. No. Let's see where we have to go. We have to backtrack now. We have to load our last save state. So, but yeah, in the second one, you're gonna see that there's a weapon called the Cerebral Bore that is one of the most, like, iconic weapons in any first-person shooter. It targets your opponent's head, and then when it hits their head, it starts spewing brain matter all over the place. So, you know, when you hear that thing fire, you're just like, oh man, I hope it's not gonna get me. The animation when it happened, hilarious. So, like I said, when Turok 2 drops, we'll definitely be taking a look. Whoa, hey big fella. We'll definitely be taking a look at that. So I think we need to get this guy in Smash. What do you guys think? It's gonna take a lot of arrows. And he's got a friend showing up over here too. That arrow like a champ. Didn't even flinch. Alright, what do we got? We got a pistol at least? There we go. We have 4 rounds in the shotgun. Okay. Oh yeah, pod racing on yeah. So pod racing on the 64 was a blast. Love that game. Pretty difficult back in the day, but fun. Another little fun trivia fact. I got engaged the day episode 1 came out. So anything involved with that movie, both my wife and I tend to like, even though it's not everybody's favorite. Like we were on the news together when we pre-ordered our tickets at the movie theater and things like that. So it was a pretty big deal. And so we played a lot of pod racing. She loved young Anakin. That was like her. Even to this day, she'll still quote him and stuff. So, but if this, honestly, if Turok right here, if this is a taste of what we could expect from 64 titles on the Switch, I'd be pretty happy with that. Like this seems to be like a step up from like even some of the games that we saw, like the 64 titles, the first party ones that we saw like on the Wii U and things like that. Like I feel like there was just a little bit of extra care put into this as far as just, you know, getting it running smooth and kind of doing away with some of the mud that is typically tied to the 64. So, but I think that's this has been a good first look. You guys get to see, you know, how it runs. It runs smooth, controls great. You got some different options for the view, things like that. You can, you know, of course, you can switch up your controls whether you play inverted or not. However, whatever your preference is. So yeah, that's gonna do it. There's a checkpoint right there. I think we'll finish this up here, this little section, so you guys can see just the get a decent amount of enemies on the screen. Not too many, but I believe they keep respawning as they die. This guy's just up there chucking nades. He didn't like that nade. Get some shotgun shells. Oh yeah, you see him spawn in the moment one dies. That seems to be what's going on. Because the first time I did this, there was they just keep showing up. Oh, exploding shells. Nice. All right. You kind of have to just wander around to find all the enemies because some of them don't seem to come after you. I think there's a guy, I just saw him back here. Even this guy looks pretty cool. You know, it's nothing too fancy, but see the clouds moving. Again, I think one of the biggest things that was just kind of crazy, especially for the time, was just the platforming. Man, that shotgun, that's some range though. Come on. There he goes. Grenades. Get on out of here. Here we go. Oh, and then they introduced some bugs. Oh yeah. So, well, this has been a first look at Turok on the Nintendo Switch. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment, hit subscribe. That's really what helps videos that's what helps YouTube push these videos out in search results and things like that. So if you leave a like, you leave a subscribe, or you leave a comment, it really helps. So subscribe, of course, I appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.